Hello everybody, welcome to another video. Today we're going to be looking at our pattern switch that could be happening over the next couple of days. Then we're just going to note on the winter storm in the northwest, and then we're also just going to quickly go over Hurricane Lorenzo, which could be affecting the Azores Islands, especially the western Azores Islands. So let's get right into it. We start with the National Weather Service here, and in those dark blues you have freeze warnings. That's where you could be getting down into the low 30s, high 20s over some of those higher elevations. Then winter weather advisories here in the northern Sierras of California, and that's where you could be seeing some wintry precipitation over the next 24 hours. Then in the light blue, freeze watches, and then in those pinks you have red flag warnings. In those greens you have flash flood watches and flood watches, and that's for New Mexico, Texas, and then also we have two other pockets, one in Wisconsin and Minnesota, which also has some flash flood warnings associated with it. And then we also have one for Iowa, Nebraska, and Kansas. Then those light greens, those are flood warnings. That's really along the rivers, especially the Mississippi River. It's been flooded for a while, so that's why you're seeing those those light greens, those flood warnings, and then also severe thunderstorm watches, because you could be seeing some potentially severe weather for tonight. Now, as we move on, here's the snow depth from the predicted snow depth from the European model from this winter storm. So we're zoomed in on the northwest right now, and you see this is how much snow is going to be on the ground, and this is 36 hours out, or 42 hours out, I mean, and that's how much snow is actually going to be on the ground. So not how much snow fell but didn't really stick, but how much actually stuck onto the ground. So 36 hours out, if you're in that blue, you're anywhere from 2 to 6 inches of snow on the ground. Then once you get into those higher elevations, in those purples, you're seeing about 6 to 9 inches. In those pinks, for those those higher elevations, those 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 feet up, you're seeing about 12 to 24 inches. Then in those light pinks, that's about 2 feet to 4 feet, and then if you get into that aqua color, then you're seeing about 4 feet plus. So you see some mountains in northern Montana, northwest Montana are actually seeing above 4 feet of snowfall that's actually going to stick onto the ground. So that's very impressive from the system, especially so early on. Even if this was in the middle of the winter, this would be very notable. But it's even for Montana. But this is right starting October. So yeah, here's we're going to look at the pattern change. We could be seeing a potential pattern change. A lot of models are actually agreeing on this. So we're going to be looking at the European model and then the GFS model, kind of comparing them, seeing what they have alike, and, like seeing what they are forecasting for this pattern change. We start off, this is what's happening right now. You see those cooler temperatures over the northwest, and that's due to that low pressure and kind of that ridging out near Alaska. That's that high pressure leading the jet stream to dip down a little bit, and that's why you're seeing those warmer temperatures here and those colder temperatures here in the northwest. Now, as we move on, another frame, this is for about tonight, and you're seeing those really warm temperatures over much of the central and eastern United States, while the northwest is still about 10 to 20 to 30 degrees below average in some areas. Now, here's 48 hours out, so this would be for Wednesday or Tuesday night, and you see those warmer temperatures really along a cold front. That's why you see this line of warmer temperatures here, and then it splits into those colder temperatures to the west and north of that. So this cold front is leading all this warm air to be suppressed down into the southeast and then pretty much all the eastern half of the United States, while the northwest and the west really get those nice cooler temperatures, which I'm pretty sure a lot of people in the east would rather have than this 90-degree weather in it's going to be early October tomorrow. So yeah. Now, as we move on, 72 hours out, so this would be Wednesday night, you're seeing those cold temperatures kind of get out of the southwest, move a bit north, and kind of you're getting kind of warmer. Still 20 degrees below average isn't warm at all, but you're getting warmer than it's not 30 degrees below average at least. Now, as we move on, this would be for Thursday, and you're seeing that cold front kind of move further to the east. So you have your low pressure situated right here, and all that warmer air is down to the south, while all this cold air is to the north and the west, and in some cases for New England, it's to the east of this cold front. Now, as we move on to Saturday, you're seeing these colder temperatures entering the northeast finally after a long time where we've been above average, 10 to 20 degrees above average, and we're finally 10 to 20 degrees below average now. And then also for the Northwest, you're still below average. That's partially due to the snowpack that's building because of the system that's reflecting all that sunlight off of it, and that's why the ground is actually cooling rather than heating from the sunlight. And now this is for Sunday, and you see that those cool temperatures still there for the Northeast and still there for the Northwest, but California, Arizona, New Mexico, parts of Colorado are starting to warm up a little bit, and the Southeast is still warm. I was calling for this if you watched my October forecast. I said it's going to be very warm over parts of the Southeast, actually most of the Southeast. It's going to be very warm, almost 10 to 20 degrees above average every single day in the parts of the extreme, parts of the deep South, and that's kind of playing out right now. Now here's your GFS model. This is another model that we look at when we're trying to make forecasts. It's a very dependable model. Sometimes it likes to overestimate some things, so it's not the most reliable, but it's a fairly reliable model. This would be for Tuesday, and you see pretty much the same pattern as as the European model had. Cold temperatures in the west, warmer in the east. And as we move on, this would be for Wednesday, and you're seeing those warmer temperatures kind of in for the eastern half of the United States, moving a bit more to the east, and those colder temperatures moving a bit more to the east as well. Now, those cooler temperatures starting to move further and further east every day, and then also you see parts of northern New England already in those colder temperatures, I mean, and you see that cold front situated right here with the low pressure system situated right there. Now, as we move on, 96 hours out for Friday, warmer temperatures really here for for the extreme eastern U.S., so the coastal areas, so parts of for New York, North Carolina, Virginia, D.C. is also in this warm weather, so 12 to 20 degrees above average in these areas. And then as we move on, October 5th is the date that's really gonna start that cool off for the Northeast, and so I mean, this is something to mark our calendars about. We've been warm for 2 weeks now, so finally we're getting these colder temperatures. The European model also has this for October 5th, so we have some reliability that's going to most likely be at or around October 5th. So sometime in the first week of October, you're going to be seeing these cooler temperatures. And then as we move on, that's another frontal system. And what we're going to be seeing is a pattern switch. So every time now that a low pressure is going to come in, it's going to come in, and then on the back side, you're going to be seeing these colder temperatures coming in through a cold front. So that's why the Northeast is going to kind of be flip-flopping back and forth between all these warm temperatures and then all these cold temperatures associated with that cold front right behind it. And if we played this on a little bit, a couple more frames, you would see that. Now, here's your precipitation. We're only going to go 72 hours out, so that we're not like getting too far out where it's unreliable to forecast. You see some heavy showers over parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Dakotas, and then you see some of that leftover snowfall from that system that moved through the Northwest, and then also some mountain snow over here. Now, as we move on, you see that system moving north, and a couple more snow showers in southern Canada. This is for Tuesday, about Tuesday morning. Some not colder, some wetter conditions for Nebraska, and then much of the Midwest is actually seeing some severe weather at this time. And then also for New Mexico, I wanted to point this out. The desert Southwest has actually been getting quite a bit of rainfall compared to their average. They're getting almost rain every day, especially for parts of New Mexico and Texas. You've been getting some spotty showers every other day or every day, pretty much. As we move on, this is for Tuesday night, and you're seeing that that system move throughout the central United States, bringing on those heavy rainfall. I could also see some heavy winds associated with this. Just how this system is set up, it's very sharp and very straight. So that leads me to believe that there's probably a gust front, most likely right before the storm. So the gust front would probably be right here, and then the showers right behind it. Uh, that's just me speculating based on how the system looks. Now, as we move on to Wednesday morning, we see those showers still over parts of Iowa and Wisconsin, some snow for parts of Wyoming, Idaho, and Montana. And then as we go, this is 72 hours out. So for Wednesday night, uh, nothing really to note, just some showers for most of the central United States and then into Pennsylvania, upstate New York, and then into near Massachusetts. You're seeing some rain showers, but then that pink and purple, I just want to note this because it's not out of the question that this happens. North Dakota, you could be seeing some wintry mix, if not some snowfall in there. I'm assuming that your temperatures at this time would have been around 34, 35. Not quite enough for snowfall, not quite low enough for snowfall, but enough that some of that precipitation, some of that rain actually turns into some ice crystals. So some slippery roadways definitely possible over parts of southwest North Dakota. Now here's Lorenzo. Here's your 5-day outlook from the National Hurricane Center. It's currently a major hurricane at a Category 3 status, and it's gonna stay that way over the next 48 hours. And then once it hits the Azores Islands, and if you're wondering, the Azores Islands are right here, especially the western Azores Islands, I would be particularly worried about. You could be seeing a low Category 2, high Category 1 system. So not really as much in rainfall because it's going to be a quick moving system. It's going to be more of, your wind gusts that you're going to be seeing. So definitely enough to knock down trees and, pull some shingles off your roof, but nothing too major. Now, here's the National Hurricane Center's cone of uncertainty with all their warnings. So they issued hurricane watches over all the Azores Islands right over here in that pink, and then you see their cone of uncertainty. They say it's going to stay as a hurricane all the way until Thursday, and then once it hits into some of those cooler temperatures, out near the UK, that's when you're gonna weaken into a tropical storm. So actually, the UK could be impacted. Ireland and Scotland could also be impacted by this system. Now, here's the model track guidance, and you see pretty good cone of uncertainty right here. Not too uncertain. We know it's gonna hit the Azores Islands sometime sometime in the next 2 days, and we also know it's gonna most likely head into part of the UK, or it might turn and hit Iceland actually. So, a little bit of uncertainty with this system. Now, here's your model intensity guidance. You see, it's at a Category 2 status right now, and then it's dipping down into a Category 1, most models have, and then down to a tropical storm by about 36 or 48 hours out. Some models actually have it 72 hours out or 84 hours out that it turns into a tropical storm, and then eventually it'll just turn into a depression or a post-tropical depression system. Just some showers and some thunderstorms over parts of the UK and Iceland and parts of Europe. So if you did enjoy that video, guys, please consider subscribing. I also want to know if you guys would be interested in live streaming. I might do live streaming if you do want it on severe weather. If we have some major winter storms over the U.S., I might do some live streams on that. But just leave a comment down below saying yes or no that you want it, and I'll definitely be reading all your comments. I reply to all your comments, so if you do have a question about any of the stuff that I talked about in this video, then definitely leave a comment and ask your question, and I'll definitely respond to you within most likely the next day. Anyways, that was Eli the Weather Guy, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.